Everyone ready?
I'm ready.
It is 5 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And I'd like us to ask to bow our heads and pause and give guidance, please. Thank you. Now, before the adoption of the agenda, I do want to add a new business item, and it's 8.4. I want to discuss writing a letter to the Minister of Community Services.
Is that for our thing? Stuff that we both have a problem with?
Yeah.
Starting to sort out my 8.4.
If there's nothing else, would someone approve the agenda as amended?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. First on our agenda, we have two presentations. The first is Clean Foundation. Derek Peters.
Yes.
Would we have someone move forward?
I'll move the Derek come forward.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Just so you know, we'll go around the table to introduce ourselves and then you will deal with.
Okay.
George Manzer, councillor from the Weymouth area.
David Tudor, councillor for down Lower Law Islands, and Prior Island, Peters Island.
Peters Island.
Yeah.
Sounds great. I should visit.
You should. Oh,
Maybe the owner. Maybe the
Yeah, who knows? check the BID.
Jeff Sunderland, Deputy CAO.
Linda Gregory, Deputy Warden. Our warden, Mr. McAlpine, is in Norway this week, so he's not able to be here. My district is actually going down to Greenock as far as just past Mink Cove, which is the Little River. It's Culloden, Mount Pleasant, Bayview, Shore Road, and Lighthouse Road. It's a big area, and I have a lighthouse. So, but in saying that,
Matthew Ross, I am the councillor for District 2, which is Barton, Brighton, South Range, North Range. I don't have a lighthouse. But I know of.
now, Samantha, you're speaking for the next one, right? Okay, I just wanted to make sure I had it right. So if you'd like to start,
Sure.
I'd like to hear.
Thank you very much. Thanks for introducing yourselves. My name is Derek Peters. I am a program coordinator with Clean Foundation. Clean Foundation we do a lot of different work across the province. One of the major focuses of our work is energy efficiency and renewable energy. But we also work in youth leadership through the Nova Scotia Youth Conservation Corps, waste reduction, ecological restoration, and other programs throughout the province. As I said, one of our largest focuses is energy efficiency and renewable energy. We co-design and deliver the home warming program, which is a province-wide energy retrofit program focused on low-income homeowners. And we also deliver the home energy assessment program. And through programs like these, our energy advisors, we have about 8 energy advisors on staff, and they've performed over 18,000 energy assessments throughout Nova Scotia. So we really have a good handle on energy efficiency in Nova Scotia. And we also coordinate the clean energy financing program for 4 municipalities, the town of Bridgewater, district of Lunenburg, district of Selborne, and of course the district of Digby. So the CEF pilot year last year, I'm not talking about the CEF program that much today, but I'll just let you know. Oh, there we go. Is that your house? Perfect. David's house. A great photo of it.
that's how we get it late at night.
I don't, yeah.
Guys laugh, but
Yeah, we left a ladder for David.
that's my wife keeps me.
So last year, it was a fairly successful program. Last year we focused a lot on the program development and getting ready to deliver the program. So we started a little bit late. We had fairly good completion rates throughout the program. Digby, we only had 2 homeowners complete the program last year, and there were 5 spaces available. And as I said, it was a shortened year. So this year, we're hoping to have a few more in the program, and we're hoping that come September, mid-September, October, they'll start flooding in, because that's when people start thinking about energy efficiency. They're not really focusing on it in August. So within these registrations and the completions, most people are interested in insulation, draft ceiling, windows, and heat pumps, and CEF does allow for all of these within its parameters. But a lot of other people are interested in deeper energy retrofits and solar photovoltaic in particular. And CEF right now doesn't really fit well with solar because of 2 key parameters. So one of the parameters is that it's $10,000 to $15,000 in financing as a limit, and because of that limit, most solar upgrades or solar installations will not fit within that. And the other key parameter is the debt to savings ratio, we call it, which is really a 10-year payback. It's a 10-year financing period, and the retrofit has to deliver as much savings as the cost within that 10-year period. And we're finding solar right now is over 10 years. It's like, it's under 20, but over 10, so it can be 12, 15, 17 years. But that makes sense for the person who wants to buy into solar, because these systems last for decades, so you will regain that investment. So, as I said, CEF isn't built for those deep energy retrofits in solar, and that is one of the reasons why we're developing, this year we're developing Clean Net Zero through funding from Natural Resources Canada. Clean Net Zero is a program that's built to let homeowners take that next step and actually attempt or completely eliminate their energy bills over a year. So what net zero means, the definition of net zero is very simple. It's a house that produces just as much energy as it consumes. And the way you do that is you attack the fundamental energy efficiency problems first. So you do that insulation and windows and heat pumps, and then you tack on renewable small-scale energy. And that tends to be, right now, it tends to be solar photovoltaic, because that is the most cost-benefit, the most cost-effective option, I should say. So Clean Net Zero, in a way, is clean energy financing with deeper retrofits, and I'll go more into how that is going to be developed soon. Net Zero as a goal in building is becoming more and more popular across Canada. There are cities and municipalities that are actually requiring in building code that houses are net zero ready. So new houses that are being built are net zero ready. They don't, not necessarily with solar on them, but they're ready to handle that solar, and they're energy efficient enough that that solar is going to be taking away or producing as much power as it's consuming. But that's the building code for new buildings. And we know that in Nova Scotia, especially rural Nova Scotia, most people live in older housing stock, and there's not that much new building going on. So Clean and NRCan, Natural Resources Canada, together we saw that there was a gap to be filled to help out those people that are living in that older housing stock, to make sure that they have a chance to approach this net zero, like reducing deep energy retrofits that reduce the energy bills almost to zero or to zero. So we saw three major obstacles to a program like this, and that is low awareness, contractor capacity, and access to capital. So our Clean Net Zero program is going to address each of these in turn. So first, we're going to be hosting public engagement sessions in participating municipalities. So if you're a participating municipality, Clean and the team that I'll talk about soon will come in and talk to homeowners and potential participants and contractors about the opportunities for these deep energy retrofits. And that, at the same time, that will help build awareness of the clean energy financing program, that base program as well. Secondly, we're going to be offering local contractors, if you're a participating municipality, the local contractors will be offered no-fee contractor training in building science, energy efficiency, and renewable energy. And we think this is a really important one, a big benefit to municipalities and the local contractor base within the municipalities. And then last, we're looking into the low-interest upgrade financing. So that's assessing how PACE fits into this, and also assessing how the credit union or local lending organizations such as the credit union fit into this. Because it's not going to be all on PACE. These we're talking fairly significant retrofits with solar as well. So it will be a combination of municipal PACE and the third-party financing, such as through the credit union. And as we're seeing now, we think that the maximum value of a PACE loan for the municipality will be about 10 to 15% of a house's value. So, you know, you're talking a $200,000 house, you're talking $20,000 or so maximum through PACE, and then the rest would be through private, through third-party financing through the credit union, hopefully. So we've got a. I'm highlighting a key question here is how exactly this financing will fit together with the municipality and say the credit union. Well, we're doing an in-depth risk assessment right now, and Sonia Perstrom of Sustainable Alternatives Consulting out of Ontario, she's a leading expert in PACE and LIC programs, local improvement charge programs across the continent, and she is doing a thorough risk analysis right now, and she is interacting with all our partners on this project. Bridgewater, Nova Scotia Community College, Be Free Homes, Efficiency Nova Scotia, and Efficiency One, LaHave River Credit Union, Lunenburg, Dalhousie, and Blue House Energy, and other stakeholders as well. So she is working on this in partnership with us right now, and we should have this risk analysis or assessment completed by October, where the municipalities will have an opportunity to read through this to make sure that it fits for the municipality. So in terms of municipal benefits that I want to highlight, first of all, you're helping Digby residents who want to invest in the deep energy retrofit. So taking that next step. And when we're talking about this pilot project, this net zero pilot project, we're not talking about many houses. We're, you know, if Digby was interested, it might be 1 or 2 houses. So it's not going to have a large impact on the population as a whole at the beginning, but it's laying the groundwork for a program like this, and it will have an impact on 1 or 2 very eager people, I guess, eager homeowners. The second one is the local tradespeople. They're going to receive the free of charge in-depth technical training. We've been doing contractor research over the past 2 months to look into the base of knowledge right now within contractors in Nova Scotia, and we're seeing that a lot of contractors in Nova Scotia don't have that much training or knowledge about energy efficiency, especially not that deep energy efficiency training needed for the net zero. So we really think that this would be helpful to contractors in smaller municipalities, and we see the benefit of, say, like a Trinity Maintenance or MJM Solutions, who were companies that decided to invest in energy efficiency capacity years back, and now they're large organizations in their small towns or villages, and it's really, you know, it's giving back to the community. Third, there's no cost to the municipality, really. There'll be very little staff time because all the program development is being funded through Natural Resources Canada, through our grant, and a lot of the legwork is done already from Terry and the crew that was developing clean energy financing already. And even the development that has to happen here, a lot of it is being done through the program development team, and Town of Bridgewater is really taking a lead on this program. So Leon DeVries is taking a lot of, I guess, a lot of the legwork is done already there. So yeah, I think it'd be very little input and pretty significant benefits. And the last one is the municipality will be part of this multi-sectoral project that could lead to further opportunities. We're seeing the federal government announcing energy efficiency funding, and they're going to be throwing out a lot more money into this field. And if you're part of a multi-sectoral team already, you have much more opportunity to leverage that funding. In conclusion, next steps, as I said, we have this risk assessment coming in likely early October 2017. At this point, if you're interested, we will send you the risk assessment and see if you are interested in working with us on this project. And as I said, it can be very scaled down. We're talking about 1 to 2 homes, and it's possible that it could fit within the funding for the clean energy financing program that is on right now. If, say, there's room for 10 homes within the funding, and we're not able to fill those homes this year, then perhaps some of that funding can go toward a net zero program like this, where we can leverage that additional private funding to get that deep energy retrofit that we're looking for. Any questions?
Local tradespeople, how do they get selected? Or does clean energy contact them, or do they have to have so many years in the business, or be certified?
Are you asking who actually doing the retrofits, or for the energy efficiency and renewable
who's going to be
training?
doing the actual retrofit?
Okay.
You said like local tradespeople would be trained.
Yeah. So the first step would be fairly open. There would be a seat limit, of course. Yeah. So we'd have to either do first come, first serve, or be a bit selective about the contractors that are within this training. So that's fairly open. And then the next step, we'd have to ensure we're working with people who are pardon me?
Very
reputable, have their proper papers in order, insurance, safety certified, things like that. But yeah.
So anybody would be open to anybody, provided they had their
proper training.
Yeah, it'd be similar to clean energy financing in that, but the training for sure would be open to anyone. Yeah.
Any other questions? I will say thank you very much. It was very interesting. I had read a little bit in the package there. We will not, of course, be making any decision tonight. We will have a meeting on this after, and we'll probably be at our policy and bylaw meeting, I would think. And right now our CAO and the warden is on vacation, so it's not going to be till, I'd say, September before we're able to meet to fully discuss this.
Yeah, and at that point we'll have the risk assessment will be nearer, and then we'll be sending that risk assessment off. And
well, I just didn't want you to think that you walk out of here tonight and, oh yeah, that's good.
No.
But because we are always interested in benefiting our residents, green energy is the way to go. I know other countries now are looking at fossil fuels again, and that's their choice. In Canada, we are still looking for green energy, and I think that's important, especially in Nova Scotia. So I would like to thank you. And just please stay, and we have the next one if you wish. Okay.
Okay. We did carpool.
Oh, okay. So now, could I have permission for Samantha Peveril, Quest Nova Scotia Partners for Climate Protection? And seconder? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Go ahead, my dear.
Thanks. So I wanted to thank you for letting me come speak today. I'm representing a couple of different things right now. So as Linda said, I'm with Quest, which stands for Quality Urban Energy Systems of Tomorrow, and we're a nonprofit that works in kind of energy advocacy and research, and also engagement. So we have a general caucus of energy stakeholders, but we also have a municipal energy learning group, which is how I got to know Terry. And so active member of that group. And Quest was recently selected to represent the Partners for Climate Protection program in Nova Scotia, or in the Atlantic region. So I'm doing Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, and my partner Eddie is doing New Brunswick and PEI. And so that's kind of the background of how I find myself here. And so I'm going to talk about the PCP program, but I'm also going to touch on some of the Federation of Canadian Municipality funding streams very briefly, just so that you know that there's some kind of new things coming down the pipeline. So I don't think I have to convince you of any of this, but this is kind of the rationale for why municipalities should be interested in acting on the climate change and energy efficiency files. And so the ones that we find most interesting are the reduction in energy costs, but also the economic opportunities. And so I'll get into a little bit more about that as we go on. So these are the milestone markers for the PCP program. So PCP is a network of municipalities from all over the country who have committed to following this milestone program. So it's about 23 years it's been running, and it was created by both the Federation of Canadian Municipalities and ICLEI, which is another organization that deals with municipalities, and ICLEI is the technical partner in this program development. So, like I said, it's been running for 23 years, and the reason they've hired regional climate advisors is because they found it was quite stalled. So, for example, when I went to Newfoundland, there hasn't been any new members since 2008. So Nova Scotia is doing a lot better, but there's a lot of lack of visibility of the program, and there's also installed members around kind of the milestone 3. So I've mentioned the milestones a couple of times. This is what they are. So the first is obviously establishing a baseline to go off. Then you set your greenhouse gas reduction target. And all of these milestones can be done at either and both of the corporate and the community level. So it's often done at the corporate level first, and then extended to community as the data is available. The third, so often milestone 1 to 3 are done together. The third is developing a local action plan. And then there's often a gap in time while you implement the activities that were designated in the plan. Milestone 4 is when you prove that you have done some implementation, and milestone 5 is ideally when you've met your goal. And now there is what they call Transition 2050, which is the milestone 5 graduate. So this isn't the end of the line, but this is the extent of the scope of this program. So some of this might be familiar to you, and Nova Scotia is in kind of an advantageous spot because milestones 1 through 3 were basically the MCAP, the Municipal Climate Change Action Plan. And so a lot of this work's already been done in Nova Scotia, and therefore you should be recognized for it. So like I said, there's both the community and the corporate scale at which this program, the milestones can be completed. And these are a couple of examples of actions undertaken or programs that were recognized by FCM and by PCP members. So the benefits for joining the program, it's a free program. Basically, it's being part of that network to move as a cohort through the processes of kind of improving your energy systems as a community. There's also the recognition that you're doing great stuff. I said in my work that Nova Scotians aren't very good at bragging, and I think that works for municipalities as well. I try to brag on behalf of all the great things that we're doing here, because Quest is a national organization, so we have caucuses in Ontario and Alberta, BC, all over the place, and you know, I'm always bragging about how great we are. but this is an opportunity for you guys to do the same. And yeah, so there's a network of municipalities, large and small, all across, and up north as well. And here in Nova Scotia, formatting went a bit wonky, but these are the current members in Nova Scotia. So this is the cohort of which you would be working with here. And as part of the PCP network, like I said, it's a free program, but you would have access to myself as a regional climate advisor, and I'll be doing workshops and webinars and peer-to-peer learning sessions, preferably in person, but often conference calls as well, just to keep everyone on track and troubleshoot any kind of common issues that are coming up. So yeah, I just wanted you to be familiar with the folks that have already, and they're all at different levels in the program. Everything is online, so you can check to see what milestones others are at. And so, as part of the, this may or may not be relevant to Digby's district, but there is funding through the Green Municipal Fund to do milestones 1 to 3. So if you wanted to update them, for example, from 2013, there is funding available for that through GMF. And so now I'm switching over to the general SDM funding. And so you don't have to be a PCP member in order to access SDM funding. It's available to any municipalities. But currently we have there's two main streams that are related to kind of climate change and energy efficiency. There's a GMF funding. I'll just go back for a second. So the GMF funding is something that's been going on for years. It's a rolling intake. Covers up to 50% of different types of projects. So this is more based on kind of the mitigation side of climate change. And then the MSIP program, which stands for Municipalities for Climate Innovation Program. This is a new stream of funding that's trying to incorporate adaptation as well. So it covers also mitigation, but with a more of a focus on adaptation. So like I said, you see the Transition 2050, which is basically the graduates of the milestone program. The PCP regional facilitators, that's myself and my colleagues. But the things that I think are going to be really interesting for municipalities in the Atlantic region. So there's these are 80% of eligible costs for plans, feasibility studies, operational studies, demonstration projects. But there's also staff salary support coming down the line. And this will be announced the details of this will be announced in the fall. So this will be a 2-year staff person that can be shared between municipalities, but their work will be focused on energy as it relates to climate change, mitigation, and adaptation. And so I just want to get this out there, the information that this is coming down the line, because this could be a real game changer in Nova Scotia where we have capacity shortfalls when it comes to some of the energy work.
Do you want to back up for a moment?
Yes. Sure.
Just our climate adaptation partner grant. I mean,
yeah, so
that's something that I don't know how well Nova Scotia is doing on, because I don't think it's that well.
It's interesting that you asked, because that's something that it's actually directed at nonprofits who are working with municipalities. And so Quest and the Clean Foundation are developing a proposal.
So our Annapolis River Foundation could be doing that as well?
Yeah.
It's Annapolis, Harry, what's the name of the Annapolis group?
Clean Annapolis River.
Clean Annapolis, thank you. Yes. So would they be eligible for something like that?
They're a nonprofit group.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yes. I can send you along the information.
Would you send it to our deputy CAO?
Yeah. I can do
And
that.
I'm sure he'll give you a card or something.
Even if you send it through to Terry, it will make it to me.
Oh, okay, sorry. I forget about, it's because we, yeah.
Oh, I never forget about you, Terry. Yeah. So
Okay, that was the one, because I didn't know it, and that's why I was asking.
yeah, well, I mean, like Derek said, the federal government is releasing a lot of funds right now.
Yeah, they
and
are.
They're doing so in a rapid manner, and it's kind of hard to stay abreast of it all. So I'm trying to do that for the benefit of municipalities, to stay on top of what there is and get a sense of what's going on that might fit into those kind of categories.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, this slide also has some formatting troubles. But this is a little bit more detail about the kinds of plans and studies that are eligible under the MSIP program. And so you can see that adaptation is included here where there's kind of the flooding and drought. I know that's a strong concern of a lot of municipalities, especially coastal. And so this is going to be a 5-year rolling intake. And so I'll be working with Terry and the Municipal Energy Learning Groups to make sure that we understand and take advantage of any opportunity to use this funding for Nova Scotia. And here's a comparison, as I said. So the GMF is more focused on energy consumption, whereas MSIP is more focused on greenhouse gas emissions and the adaptation. So I wanted to include these in here so that you will have them to kind of look at. But I'm not going to go through them in too much detail. That was all a lot to take in. I'm still familiarizing myself with all the ins and outs of these funding streams. Yeah, so this is the MSIP again. It's 80% of eligible costs, up to $1 million for demonstration projects, and up to $175,000 for plans and studies.
We have a demonstration project right off.
Yeah?
I'm going to show how one of our councilors is. Down the island for our demonstration. Like the bog and
Oh,
all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry, there's so many trails and.
I mean, I actually can see things just drinking. Yeah.
Great. That's what I like to hear.
As long as we can get it all.
Yeah, yeah. So, this is back to the PCP program. So that's the funding aspect. And I think I'll be spending a lot of my time with the PCP members talking about funding opportunities as they're going through the milestones.
And we are a member, right? With
you are not yet a member. So that's good. It's easy and we can fix it. How can we fix it? We're getting to that. Sorry, I should have had a timer. I didn't expect to go around so long. So how you can fix it is there's a sample resolution. It just needs to be approved by council. And so Terry printed it out for me. And I will leave it here with you guys. It's simply a matter of saying that you're willing to, that you commit to joining the program and going through the milestones in a 10-year period.
Actually, she's only got one.
If
you want to take it.
Sorry. Yeah.
I was going to say, it should either go to Pat or to our deputy CEO.
Yeah.
Email up there.
Yeah.
Make sure
wanted
that
to
Jeff
bring-
and Pat each get it, no matter what.
Add it to the agenda for.
It would have to go to our bylaw and policy meeting, and then on. So, we're gonna have a big policy and bylaw meeting.
I feel ill.
No, it's all exciting
No,
things.
I show up to these things. I don't know. It is exciting.
I think this is good.
Yeah, so when you become a member, I think that you will quickly be at milestone 3, based on your municipal climate change action.
And that's a big thing at the FCM when they're telling, like I like listening to that, and like the other year, I believe, and I could be wrong, but it was Lunenburg, or Guys picked as one of those. They had 3 done in the year from joining.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember which one it was.
Yes,
But, you know, I enjoy this part of the FCM.
there you go. Yeah, and so then it's just a matter. So once those 3 are basically setting the groundwork, and then you'll be able to look back. I don't know how often you look back at your municipal climate change action plan or your targets, but the next steps are implementation, and so. You know, that's often where municipalities get stuck, and that's where they need more guidance. So.
Yeah, this is climate change plan. It was almost a revolt when we took it to the community because it was just municipal infrastructure. Everybody's concerned about, you know, Sandy Cove washing out or whatever, and those sorts of things. And it's very myopic. I found very, very, very focused on just municipal infrastructure, and I think it's something that could be really expanded upon. It's just so narrow focus.
Yeah, and so
we don't have a ton of infrastructure.
Yeah. Well, that's Sandy Cove wash out. I hear there's really good climate there.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of like the difference between the corporate milestones and the community milestones. And so the the NCAPs were very corporate focused, from my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
But they are kind of a baseline of having gone through that process.
It is a first baby step.
Yeah. And so there's a couple of different things that you'll have access to as a member. So there's the milestone tool, which is kind of an online tool they're working on to try and give access to the data in one place. So you'll be able to kind of upload your inventory and be able to kind of look over the years at the different data. So this is a very new tool that they're working on. And then there's also the PCP Hub, which is like a forum for conversation, but it has a lot of resources there. So if you're wondering, like what did another kind of municipality of our size do, there's access to those kind of forums and a lot of resources there, a lot of plans and projects and events. And like I said, I'll be doing webinars, workshops, and peer-to-peer learning with the PCP members. So this is what I mentioned already about how to join. And so once you've adopted the council resolution, just let me know. I assume that Terry will be the staff contact, but we'd also like to have an elected official contact. So we have kind of both sides of that. And that's my contact information. Sorry if I went over time.
It's okay. Do we have a copy of this?
Yeah, that's the 5 steps too, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no. Okay. So, as long as we've got the presentation now, is there any questions from anyone? Any comments?
The Clean Foundation, yours is extremely professional people, incredibly efficient. The paperwork was, as my wife, who's a teacher who can contest the paperwork, said she never dealt with anything easier ever.
That's great.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah, we tried to make it as streamlined as possible.
Yeah, I want it to catch on, and I'm hoping to.
Yeah. And even in December, we're hoping to do a bit more of another media bit push.
Yeah.
Like right now, everybody's on vacation, we've got hard time to really get people interested in programs like this, but soon enough.
over the last few days, the couple days, oh my God, the heating program was down a little bit. Efficiency, Nova Scotia.
And home
Home warming, yeah.
warming, yeah. Yeah, so we conduct the electricity heated
Yeah.
side of home warming, and we do it
Yeah, we had a long discussion.
yeah.
So it was, yeah, so that's what I said, and I'm sure if I took the time to have a long discussion with them, I'm sure many other people did. I just wanted a few little updates I wasn't sure on, with some people I'm dealing with. But, yeah, they were excellent. You know, it always helps to have information type booths at any event like that, because there's so much going on, and it's a good time to get people who are running in and out.
Yeah, and we can correlate it with the business events, so we're going to correlate it with that kind of events and that we have communities.
It is September 1st to 3rd. Well, so it's a long weekend. Always a long weekend. And then on the Labor Day, we have our Fireman's Day. Yeah, it's a busy weekend. So on saying that, I want to thank you both. I enjoyed both presentations, but you noticed I was a little bit more questioning on yours. I think because I just been doing a different type of talk on the weekend. Both, I think, are great programs. Again, we will look at it in September. We will have Terry, of course, to our meeting, and we wouldn't want him to miss out on any fun that we're having.
Policy and bylaws, your favorite.
He has nothing to do.
You've heard him talk about it, haven't you?
I've suggested that he has to increase his hours. I think he should be working 8 to 8 for the same wages, of course.
Of course.
You know, and add Saturdays on. You know, but he can have Sundays off.
Right.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna have Sunday.
They're really good to you.
But again, if there's no other questions, we want to thank you for coming down, and have a good drive back. Drive safely.
Thank you. Thank you for that fruit.
Thank you.
I
Always let people eat island snacks.
You sure can.
Brought some Dulce, man.
That's in my car.
I'll tell you, the Dulce at Andrews there, Garden Produce down the road, that might be the best Dulce I've ever had. Where's that? Oh, just down this way about 10 minutes.
The best sauce is in my car.
What about the seagull?
Have you ever eaten dulse?
Yes, I have.
What about the seagull snack?
This was just picked this morning and dried. That's how fresh it is. I'm doing delivery. Pardon me? Because if you, all right, we're going to take a 5-minute recess. Done a nice job.
Excellently.
Was there many times over the weekend?
Right on.
Okay, we are back. Session is back in session. We're going to a dangerous and unsightly. And the first one is Josephville 1007. As you saw, the complaint letterhead came. We read your recommendation. We have seen your pictures. What would you like to tell us, sir? Sure.
Well, no.
You're in good form today.
I won't hold you up. I mean, I used to read the report, and you've seen the pictures. It is a crappy ass place. Been there for a while. They posted last year, they talked about it. I just don't have the time, and everything's running out, and again, they came again this year, and it's just kind of there. It's all coming apart. People I know are from Great Britain that haven't been down here.
Long time, actually. Yeah, at least more than 10 years, I'd say.
So it's in there, and so I said, yeah, that's probably one that I would say give me a 5 days, coming 5, and people going in and out.
The only thing I saw in there that might have been good was the cover hardware.
Yeah, maybe.
And then I don't know. But just looking, you'd say maybe.
You're like, those are nice cupboards.
No, I didn't say the cupboards were, I said the hardware.
It was a nice back door.
Yeah, a really lovely back door. I said that's the only thing I could see when I was looking at the
It
picture.
was grassy on the bottom there.
So what I would like then, is for council to make the decision, if we're gonna recommend to council for the, demolishment of this property as requested by our building inspector. Major zone site law inspector.
What was the, yeah.
I have to keep taking it back as it keeps going small on me.
Yeah.
The pictures are big.
Oh, so they dropped it down.
I
it-
move that, we recommend to council that the building, 1007 Gibsonville Road, be demolished because it's condition and, preventing from intruding, possibly set a product and use of dangerous and unsightly.
Okay, is there a seconder to that?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Okay, in favor. And now the Freeport property, it might have been me, but I couldn't find, pictures on the Freeport property, except the barn.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I'm talking about,
Yeah.
Mr. Barnett.
That's it.
That's the one I saw before.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
it's right
apologize.
next to that we saw before.
That's a long story, because I might talk about it. So I imagine you guys are probably kind of aware of that. And so anyway, once you guys look in.
So this is a house and not a barn?
It's a direct. Right. But on top of it,
Used to be an
it has,
apartment.
on top it has.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that would go with
Where
the.
Dad there was sleeping last night.
Yeah, you've seen some of these pictures before. We thought this was all on one property
I feel like
with
it's
the
all-
other property that we've got an issue with in
Okay.
that area with the gentleman from BC.
Okay.
So we had
Okay.
seen some of these pictures before. After
That's
a
why.
year of
Okay.
logistics and narrowing down property owners and property title searches, we have determined that it is not part of that property, that it was kind of unknown to some degree, but that it is actually Stella Finnegan's, who her daughter is her power of attorney, which has allowed us to move to this stage
Okay.
of the conversation. They're aware of this meeting tonight, and that we are looking for demolition.
Okay. Yeah, I know Rita.
Mother in Annapolis, she's got power of attorney, I talked to her, she's sent, here, there's a letter saying, they don't want any village. She called me up, I said, yeah, and she's told me, and this is why I know this is kind of going to court, and you guys are going to court with that and with this house. This is right next to that.
Yeah, I think I just got mixed up when I was looking.
Yeah, they used to be considered the same law.
I'm thinking the house is his, and he's gonna go for the house, and I want to bring it up now, Jeff and I talked, that's why I need to wait, and I said, well, if I wait, and if the judge in October gives us the okay for the house, I'd like to be ready for the grass too.
Save some money.
Yes.
That's why I'm really asking for permission to tear the grass down, but I'll wait until legally the judge allows us to do it, that the judge doesn't, the judge stops it. I'll hold back, but if you put approval to take it down, if you win,
So you can move past it, you got
then you take it
make
down
some
in the
bucks.
fall. But I'll wait till October to do it. Hopefully it'll all come right, that it'll okay to have to do the whole thing, but if not, I'm doing correct.
Okay, George?
In the letter that Stella wrote there, she said, we are not interested in the land at Freeport now or in the future. Is that just that building she doesn't care about, or the property?
And the property, I told her too, I talked to her many times, quite a few times, and there is a property, I told her it's probably
How many acres is it?
29 acres, all told, I told her, I said, well, we have to pay taxes, and I said, well,
Yeah.
but not retro,
Until this year, it was an owner unknown, which is part of what's taken us a little longer to narrow down what was happening. So they weren't aware, no tax bills have been issued on that property ever. Or there's no assessment number with it. Like we had, that's one of the steps in this process is getting an assessment account assigned to it. So the family didn't know it existed, and they had quite extensive land holdings in the area. I think they just basically said we've got enough land and enough issues. We've never believed this was part of ours. There's a right of way over it down to the beach, and they just said they're not interested.
So there is no back tax going on or anything, so we just need a hospital.
Who's gonna pay the demolition?
I guess it's not, well, it's gonna be her, but now there isn't a PID, no, that, that's just that court. Basically, once we found this out, we go to sell it. We will get it because it's care of her.
I think to answer your question, no one's going to pay for the demolition. In 3 years, this will come up for tax sale. That's what we're starting here. The family will not be paying for demolition. That we will end up paying for it. We'll hopefully, with that size of property and with the cost savings of doing them at the same time, that's one of the reasons. Hopefully, right? Yeah, that's our theory at this point.
I just want to make sure that they knew he was going to be, you know.
Yeah.
In charge
Charge to the property.
I said, next year, I said, Stella, I said, whatever happens, whether we take it down this year or not, what we do, I said, next April, you're gonna get a tax bill. And maybe the cost of the land, the taxes on the land, plus the demolition cost. Don't worry about it, just don't pay it. And I said, 2-3 years later, the local taxes, something to buy it or whatever, and then
And have clear, one of the issues right now is that would be one of those deeds that you would not consider to be a clean title.
It's not a clean title right now.
Well, the lawyers came back with 2 names. That's why there's letters from both groups saying neither's interested because the lawyers couldn't determine 100%. Jeff Lehman.
Well, Jeff Lehman, a couple of.
He owns it over, so neither of them have thought it was theirs. But if you tried to get clean title today, you would have a hard time. The tax sale is the best case for it.
talk to that person that, oh, I'm not good, I don't want it, I'm not good. They send me a letter telling me that you did. We said the same thing, I said, send me a letter,
Well, and nobody's gonna be interested in buying it until there's a clean title. Yeah, without a clean title, it's useless.
Okay.
Well, motion to do a demolition to the
Just read the recommendation.
recommendation, let's see. Our motion,
But you went too far.
It's different. He did the wording differently in this one.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to come up with.
Okay, sorry. So again, recommend to council first.
I recommend.
Say, I so move, I recommend to
I so
council.
move to recommend to council demolition of 948 Highway 217 in Freeport,
The garage.
the garage,
building.
the building to be demolished.
Any further discussion? I apologize. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried.
You're welcome. Thanks,
Thank
Pete.
you very much, Al.
We'll find some more for you.
Lights up when we get up there. I'll have my mouth open like always.
You're gonna have to put an X on the two, so I'll know which one.
Alright, that's right, you can karate, too. You can probably like the one finger death punch it right out, just like.
Okay, children. Now, the next is the Committee of the Whole minutes of June 12th, 2017.
Motion to recommend to approve minutes.
Second. Oh, for June 20th.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried the motion. The next is any old business or business arising from those minutes? Is there any? Okay, does anyone have any old business to bring up? Councilor Tudor?
No.
Councilor Manzer? Councilor Ross? Okay, then we will move on. The next is the new business. And I've got-
I know, every time you move.
Anyone interested?
Okay, on Friday, September the 22nd, and Saturday, September 21st, Nova Scotia Environmental Network will be hosting an email account, two-day gathering aimed at building capacity for environments across Canada. Day one of the conference will be at the Glengarry Inn in Truro. Okay. And so I guess what we're looking at, is there anyone interested in attending?
Would Terry be a good one to send to something like this? I would think. Maybe him attending, but they wanted an
But
elected official.
they're
They
saying,
mentioned that.
the letter's saying wardens and councils.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're approaching someone like Terry separately. With
That would be a
direct
whole
mail
different,
letter,
I feel like Mike and I'll go. I'll leave.
Well, the reason, I'll be upfront, the reason I'm attending the UNSM meeting in Liverpool on that day, and I'm hoping to see others be attending some of those too.
Is he the rural caucus thing?
It's not the, it's the regional.
In Liverpool?
Yeah, on the 22nd, it's another one's in Elmsville on October the 6th, but the closest, or there was one in Yarmouth, but the one that worked for me was actually the 22nd of September, and I've already registered for it. It should have come in on your email from the UNSM.
Yeah.
So you are going to truly attend, right?
If somebody else wants to go, they can certainly.
Do you hear any, I mean, like I said, I can't.
I feel like 22nd, 23rd.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
And it's Truro.
Glengarry,
Glengarry.
which is the Best Western.
It says day one will be held at Glengarry, is day two also there?
I'm just assuming.
I just got home.
No, but it says day one, the conference will be held at the Glengarry Inn.
Oh, that's at the motel there.
Yeah, got
Day two?
They do,
it.
must still be there, must they?
I would think so, but.
It's just the
I
way
read
they,
it on
it's the
the
way they wrote it. I'm
Yeah.
assuming it was in
We'll all
there.
be there.
You're gonna have to check and see what time you get in, and
Yeah.
you
register
probably
more, right,
will have to say the 21st and 22nd, and you can come back on the 23rd.
Okay.
If you would leave Thursday night,
Late Thursday night, maybe have a good time to have a meeting in Big Bean, just drive through that.
whatever. Yeah, remember, you got 4 hours to get to Truro.
I go through it's been a while, I used to, I went to school in Truro. Oh.
Okay. The next is the letter from Warden Leland Anthony, and they're interested in seeking replacement of a Doppler radar system in the Yarmouth area to cover Southwest Nova and adjacent waters. Yarmouth, Shelburne, and Digby counties are currently without the benefit of such systems, leaving those of us that live, work, and play in the area possibly unsafe situation. You will find included in the letter a copy of the letter to MP Colin Fraser and MLA Zach Churchill requesting an update on the status of the 2014 request to the Minister of Environment for the consideration for the placement of a Doppler radar system in Yarmouth to cover Southwest Nova. We are requesting your support in this initiative and would encourage you to contact your MP and MLA to request a new radar site to cover our area and emphasize the importance of our engagement and reliable weather information for the general public, emergency services, our fishermen, and other related trades that rely on and dependent on accurate weather forecasts and monitoring. He says fishers, but most fishermen want to be called fishermen, including the women. So you know.
I know
That was even said, told for me. It was
I motion to support that.
I totally agree with that.
So you're moving that we write letters to our MLA and MP. Now, the MLA actually would be the Minister of Environment. We would CC our MLA, wouldn't we?
What do you mean, Mr. Environment? Must be.
I think in this case, we're likely looking for our MLA to lobby our MP as well. I don't know if we go to the Minister of Environment, if the message will get through as.
Okay, so we will send letters, two separate letters, to our MP Colin Fraser and our MLA Zach Churchill.
Nope.
Sorry, our MLA,
Gordon
Gordon Wilson. I'm
They
reading.
look a lot alike, man.
We can CC back.
Oh, yeah. So, was there a seconder to that?
You second that, Dick?
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. And perhaps what would be a good thing is to actually sit down and talk at our regional meeting about this.
One Bloomberg you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you look at the list of
Yeah.
who they sent their support letter to.
Yeah.
And it's a regional, it doesn't matter who goes to what.
Yeah.
So, can I get you to forward this on to Lyle Goldberg at the UNSM and tell him we would like it on the agenda of the September 22nd meeting in Liverpool?
Yeah.
If there's one in Yarmouth, I think it should go on there too. We can add that on. But, I mean, this needs to be, let's send one as well so we can get the UNSM to send us a letter as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we need everybody we can get to help.
Well, we should have the best stuff available.
Yeah.
We're heavily dependent on
If we watch it
Oh, yeah.
and they use it, we can
It
do
really
it.
depends on weather.
Yeah.
Because the economy is so dependent.
The next one is 8-3, St. Thomas Church, direction on removal of the spire. In Weymouth, they have asked the Heritage Committee, because it's a heritage building, if we could look at the removal of the spire, and we are suggesting to council that we would like approval for this, and then what we're asking, and we're not gonna say it's gonna happen, but we can possibly keep it and, you know, be kept by the
Play it
church.
down the way we can.
And they're gonna do something that would work it so it would be applicable, which Rob would be working with them for. It's not like we're just, and we're also looking, you know, because a lot of it's the costs and the upkeep, and they have to bring in a tall machine.
Or boom truck.
A boom truck, thank you, to deal with this, and that cost is exorbitant.
Because we want to make sure that we can take it down without it not being.
If we can,
If
we
we
don't,
can.
if, they may not be able to as well.
I doubt very much whether you're gonna be able to get that off of there just now.
Yeah, but anyway,
They're
it's
amazingly
just, what we're
sucking their
asking
spires.
for is permission, because, they're asking permission, maybe something else will be worked at, but, you know, they need to work on it now.
So it's really bad, must be really bad.
Well, it needs to be worked on now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's
Putting
bad.
metal on the outside wouldn't.
Well, so you gotta remember,
That's why
it's a
people
heritage,
restrictions.
heritage.
You have
A lot of
to-
them now, what they're doing is they're keeping just the base up top, the
Yeah,
flat
and
roof.
that's what they're
That's
looking
what they
at.
want to
They're
do.
all heavily wired.
The church in Ashmore had their steeple with metal, and the one in Weymouth North is St. Peter's. Yeah, they're not, but they're not heritage.
Yeah, well, see, this is the problem, it's a heritage building.
So they want to keep their heritage status.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it doesn't bother the heritage status, they want to be able to bring it
That's
down,
why they're asking.
spend the money to have it down one last time, display it there. But then
We're
they never have
asking
to
about,
get a-
we are asking, the Heritage Committee is asking that could we possibly
I
get
know,
it
I'm
so
on the
it'd be,
Heritage
the church was asking just to take
Oh,
it
yeah,
down.
Yeah.
So,
It'd still be
You gotta be reasonable.
heritage property.
Well, the building will still be in structure.
Yeah.
So you want a motion?
yeah, I would like a motion that we would, to go to council, that we would give direction on the removal of the spire of St. Thomas Church.
I move that we recommend the council that St. Thomas Church, is allowed to remove the spiral without affecting their municipal heritage status.
Okay, thank you. And again, that will go through Rob, because we're doing a general. Yeah.
We're meeting next week, eh?
Yes. That's why I wanted this on here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, there's a seconder. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. The next, letter to the Community Services Minister. I listened today into a meeting with Community Services. And she explained to me that nothing gets updated because that's not their job as a department to try to update anything. That will have to come through the ministers, through public policy. Right now, if I'm on social services or trying to get help from social services, no alternate medical services will be covered. I'm talking about chiropractic, osteopath, massage. I'm talking about if I needed a herbal medication, if I needed even some sort of oil that's produced through the cannabis. If the doctor recommended it with a certain, anything that's herbal, okay? It doesn't have a DIN number, it doesn't count. The other thing, to just have a phone today, especially because we have areas you don't have cells, right? Average phone is $46. They allow them $31. Okay, so again, they're under the gun. To live within community services, you need $500, and I think she said $86 to live.
Where? At 10? Until you die?
I mean, no, they're following policy. She has to follow policy. This person owns their house, and she had to explain, this is what we allow, like we allow, now this is just, I can't remember, but we'll say you're allowed $40 a month for heat, or oil, or not oil, electricity, and you're allowed so much for heat, and but remember, it's all in that $580-some that you're allowed, and then anything out is a surplus. But you may not be entitled to that. So I said to her today, what can be done? And she said, Linda, all I can tell you is people need to write to the minister. They have to write the concerns. And, because people on social services usually are not in a position to go lobby government. They're not in a position to advocate for others. That is us. And so for me, what I wanted was a letter, if possible, sent to the minister, asking them to look at their policies, especially under medicines such as herbals and alternative medicines such as massage, chiropractic, so that they understand what we're talking about. We're not saying that you go down to the water and, we're talking about stuff that people can have. And they're not allowed to have now. I mean, this lady, for example, is even having numbness in her legs and is having trouble walking. Okay? Her family practitioner has actually said chiropractic, because it will take the pressure off, it will stop the numbing in her legs, and it will also stop the migraine headaches.
No luck, nothing for her.
But they would cover any kind of medication as long as it's got a DIN number.
Yes, keep that.
For her. Well, they didn't say that, they just said anything with a DIN number. All right. I mean, I think.
We can give you
I mean, it's not the staff over here's fault. I mean, it's like I said to her, I do understand I mean, she has to do her job. It's like us. We can't go down the street and say, buddy, the municipality's gonna give you $100 because we like you this week.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, you can't do that. Our policy is, if there's a request for a grant, it has to come forward, it has to be nonprofit. Well, they're the same. So I would really appreciate a motion if you're guys are in agreement.
To recommend to council?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make.
Or does this one have to be recommended?
I don't think that has to be.
No, that doesn't have to go to
Okay,
council.
I move that, we send a letter to the Minister of Community Services.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, Minister of Community Services, expressing our concern in regards to the lack of support for people on community assistance yet in accessing alternative medicines such as massage, chiropractic,
And they need to start updating what they're allowed.
yeah.
Or even updating the allowance maybe. I mean, we've updated, minimum wage how many times in 5 years? I'm sure they haven't touched anything for those guys.
Oh,
And it needs to be looked at. It probably hasn't been touched for 20 years.
Poor and suffering.
Now, we also would send a letter to our MLA,
And a letter to the MLA.
or a copy.
How you can run a house and buy food and pay taxes and light
Heat
bill
and phone bill.
$500 a month and that.
I got people in that situation.
They can't.
Yeah, so you have to install and.
They don't pay, they can't pay the property tax, they can't do nothing. You know, monthly bills alone, you're not even counting the food. It's excessive, really.
So, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I could have cried today for this lady. You know?
It's sad, some cases it's sad.
It's sad.
I think it might be an idea, because we don't have a heavy agenda for tomorrow night, I know the Minister of Municipal Affairs, not Community
I was gonna
Services.
ask if we could put that on the agenda
It
too.
might be worth it to, because
Yeah.
I said we have
More
pretty
important,
hard
right?
right for tomorrow night.
Thank you, Jeff, because I was gonna mention that after, if it's
That's
okay.
for the legalization of marijuana.
I
do that.
Yeah,
I
and
couldn't-
I also have a whole bunch of information that I could do at a bylaw policy meeting.
Oh, I can check that out.
I can't discuss it in open.
So my hearing's on.
I can't discuss it in open.
Okay, well, okay, yeah.
Okay, so you know. All right, the next is our, CAO officers report, meeting dates and reminder. Just think, August 21st, August 28th, and September 4th, there's no meetings.
Wow.
September the 11th is committee of the whole. I will tell you, we expect to have a long agenda and be there. It's not gonna end at 6 o'clock. On September the 13th, we have an RCMP Joint Advisory Committee. On September the 15th, we have a Weymouth doctor recruiting. On September the 18th, at 5 o'clock, we have council and TIR. On September the 18th at 6 p.m., bylaw and policy. On September the 25th, council. October the 2nd at 5, bylaw and policy. And you know what? They're going to give us a break. So we aren't going to meet on Thanksgiving, but we're going to meet the next day.
Yeah. Good.
Committee of the whole.
6 a.m.
That sounds good to me. Again, that will be at 5 p.m. We're also going to have on October the 16th a bylaw and policy. October the 23rd, we are going to have our Highway 101 task force. And just a heads up, I've heard people want to attend our next meeting. The concern is about phase 2. And I'm sure you've heard the same thing.
I haven't heard anything.
Well, no, but
Any letters or anything like that?
people just coming up and talking to me, the same as with you. You're not getting letters, are you?
Yeah. A lot of people.
And there's huge concerns, and there should be. They're afraid. They keep been postponing
Well, we had an
things.
accident last week.
Oh,
In
yeah.
front of Tri-County Marine Diesel.
No, I'm not surprised.
I've got to go see the staff that I mentioned, maybe there was some radar or something to slow the traffic down a little bit around that corner.
It's not that. It's just there's so much traffic.
Well, there is. There's a lot of traffic,
There's
but there's
nothing
also
you can
there's also this time of the year, there's a little bit of a on that stretch. People get careless, right? They're just, the police have been up around Ridge Road this summer, and it makes you kind of wonder, should You're trying to watch what you're doing, and it does slow people down.
It's
I've been
not
across
gonna,
the
it's
route
not
now.
gonna slow down those tourists.
No, but until people, until this section gets in and we get going, like, no, it won't slow tourists down. Coming here tonight, I saw one go 80 through the school part. He's going
And
80.
80? No,
Yes,
this
man,
definitely
he
is a
was
50.
The little thing was just a flash.
That's like stunting.
He's from Vermont, I guess they
That
don't
is,
have
that would
50
be
zones.
stunting there.
Yeah, he was just a giver.
Oh, my goodness. Then you also, had what was going on with the 5-year budget, our council priorities. They are looking at, the meeting, with Gordon McIntosh, for sometime in December. I don't know if the town and Claire have agreed yet, because at our last email, they had not got back to us.
No, I think with vacations, I think that's still,
Okay.
where that stood.
Talked about the meetings. You all got your monthly department reports. Was there any questions on any of those reports?
No.
Okay. And of course, your council action items.
Action along.
Okay. Right through with your protective services, transportation. All right, we'll continue for a moment. Environmental health services was on, and environmental health, environmental development. Is there any questions on any of those things for our deputy CAO?
How's the project going in Cisco?
Well, it's going really well. They were just about, I think they had to go back today, but they'll be done today, tomorrow, the first phase. Again, it's a straightforward project, but it's still always nice when straightforward projects move ahead in a straightforward fashion. No, the contractor's been easy to deal with. The engineers have been great. Barry's been in every day to check on them. Residents are happy. I think we've already got two of the 6 possible residents have inquired about connecting, which is a stronger ratio than we normally see, to be honest. So no, that's gone well, and they have learned the next section of road. Well, the system is still very straightforward. The road is a bit trickier. This has been good that the contractor has learned some things doing this one, that after Labor Day that they will apply. Same contractor for the second phase. They took out a little less asphalt than they thought initially, so that'll help keep our costs down, and it's going quite well.
Now, the only other thing before we go on is, I would ask you, Jeff, would you like to talk about our international fly-in?
I can give a brief update.
Yes.
So I think I'd have to go back and see. I think in May, I think I mentioned we had an inquiry with the international air rally that has stopped to the area in 2007 and 2009. The name makes it sound like a bit larger event. It's a similar. I don't know if any of you have been involved with the flotillas of people with boats coming to kind of travel together. Same concept with airplanes.
I've heard about this.
3 different legs. They had like a Western Canada leg where I don't think there's anyone that's doing the whole country, but so country out west they do it. There's a Central Canada, and then the Eastern one. So we were, I think, anticipating 12 planes. I was up to 13 at one point, and they come in, they stay at the Pines for a couple nights. Usually they need some assistance getting to and from the airport. We've done little welcoming receptions for them from different over the years. But we've lined up transportation with Transport to Clare. Saturday started off a little interesting. They had weather delays. We had planned for everything, but the weather, like summer and flights, we kind of weren't real. So they ended up delayed. They ended up with some of them not coming at all. Some of them got delayed in Frederick, in Montreal. They didn't quite know. The group was smaller when it got here than it was when they left. Linda was out welcoming people on behalf of the municipality and kind of acting as a tour guide while we tried to figure out the logistics of Transport to Clare. Works great when you have like a big group arrive all together. We had this group, the core group arrived, but then we had these stragglers that were going to arrive. That we had some dedicated staff members that offered to chauffeur those people in later in the evening. So everybody kind of pulled together. They still were thrilled. We had some scallops there, so they all had a little taste of scallops. They love coming to Digby and the Pines. They were doing some touring around today. and then I think tomorrow they're hitting the road. So just a nice kind of increased level of activity. We try and welcome them in when they come. This is, like I say, at least the third time in modern memory that they've come. So no, very nice. We reached out to, we had a couple of our local pilots went out and mingled a little. They talk airplane.
Peter Burney was
Peter
there.
was there.
And it was funny, we had a gentleman and his son come in. And his son is great crazy over airports and planes. So they were going back to Annapolis, and the son said, "Can we go out and see what the airport?" Or he said, "I'd love to see what the airport's like." And his father said to me, I said, "Sure, we'll go out." And he said, "Oh my gosh, we're coming in, and these planes are coming." And so they got the opportunity not only that, to talk to the people, the people that were here, his in-laws own the Gun Roman campsite.
Okay.
So I can't name their names, but
They're all right.
pardon me? Anyway, they were really pleased. We had them in, did some talking, and it sort of added to that value with the people that came, because at least two were from the States.
Yeah.
And they, the only thing was, it was sort of drug.
Yeah.
But, you know,
pay you the big bucks, Linda.
I've noticed this week, like just being on vacation and stuff, this time is busy. There's a lot of tourists this year. When they come out with numbers, it's gonna wow everybody.
Yeah, the lodge is up 40% on July.
I mean, even something like tall ships, like so last week leading up to Scallop Days, we've been working the Pine,
Busy
hosting
down
this
there
airplane group.
today.
So they were full last week heading into Scallop Days, and with this group and tall ships, they're full all through this week. So
The lodge is full too.
All days
Very
busy. We went last Tuesday night downtown. I mean, Tuesday night, big week, come on. That place is packed.
well,
People everywhere,
Well,
walking and.
last week I worked at the hospital, and we had the Otis men in, that's the elevator men, and they were having a hard time trying to find a place to stay.
Can't get a place in Halifax. The last 2 weekends, well, if you want to get anywhere near it, you're out in the South Shore or basically Sackville. Or maybe
You'd have a hard time.
It is, it's that crazy. Like the tourists is just nuts around here. Going up and down the valley a couple times when I was on vacation, traffic was nuts. Believe it, you thought you were on the 401.
Which is a good thing.
It is.
It's
It's
good
good.
for us.
It's good for everybody.
Attention,
It is.
need to work. All those things.
Everybody's busy. It's good.
Okay, and the last thing, before we go in camera, is a correspondence information item, and it was recycle myself. Now, what I was wondering, not so much what we host, but would it something that I'd like to ask our CAO, is it something that we could host through our public drop-off?
Well, I was looking at this and said we can do that, or I don't think there's a financial benefit, but Conway, this would fit in with what Conway Workshop does.
Okay.
But they don't make any money from it, so I don't know if I might like to, if council agrees, offer it to them, or say we're aware, maybe they're aware of it. If not, I do think that signing the transfer station up would be a great location.
Okay. So, we'll do with direction. Would you like to meet with, the CAO the director of Conway Workshop? And that is Jill Baxter, 245-5391. And then if that's not feasible, that would be between you and the transfer.
But yeah, no, I think the transfer station would be good.
And everyone's comfortable with that? Okay. Does anyone need a break? If not, we're gonna go right into.
No, I'm gonna go right into.
Okay, we'll have to give Pat a couple of moments so she can leave.